Okay, as we all start to map out our plans for 2026, let's be honest, most of us are looking for something more than just another incremental tweak. We're looking for that big, radical innovation that can actually change the game for our business. So the real question is, where do we find it?
Because for years now, it's felt like we're stuck. We're caught in this endless cycle of tech hype that almost never delivers on its promises. You know the drill. We talk a big game about transformation, but what we get is innovation theater, pilot project after pilot project that goes absolutely nowhere. For those of us in industries built on precision and getting things done, it's incredibly frustrating. We're experts at optimization, but the real pressure now is to make those huge, game-changing moves that create a whole new level of value.
For as long as I can remember, our strategic compass had one setting: point west, towards Silicon Valley. That's where the future was. But what if that compass is broken? What if following it now is actually leading us in the wrong direction? To find the real next wave of innovation, the kind that actually scales, we need to completely rethink our approach. The game has absolutely changed, and it's time we updated our maps. So, where do we point that new compass? Well, I want to propose a pretty radical idea. Let's look at China, but not as a competitor to copy or a market to sell to. Let's look at it as a kind of time machine, a place where we can get a glimpse of a possible future, a future where these huge ideas are being implemented at a scale that's, frankly, hard to comprehend. And let's be super clear, this isn't about becoming a Chinese company. It's about getting a strategic edge by understanding a totally different model for innovation, one that, in many ways, is already years ahead of us. Now, none of this happened by accident. This isn't random chaos. It's the result of a very deliberate, decade-long national strategy called Made in China 2025. This plan was kicked off way back in 2015 with a clear goal to turn the country from the world's factory into a high-tech powerhouse across 10 key sectors. And now, standing right here in 2025, that 10-year plan has just hit its deadline. So, how did they do? What does a decade of that kind of focus actually get you? Well, the report card is fascinating. You've got these incredible successes right alongside some ambitious near misses. Take new energy vehicles. They didn't just hit their goal, they completely blew past it. Chinese brands now make up 62% of the entire global EV market. Wow. In robotics, sure, they missed the 70% domestic market share target, but their share still nearly tripled. That's a massive jump. And even in a sector like aviation, where they fell short, they literally built an entire industry from the ground up. The real takeaway here isn't whether they aced every single test. It's about the sheer power of having a clear, long-term vision to drive execution and achieve mind-boggling scale. All right, let's step into this time machine. Our first stop is a place we all know very well, the factory floor. But this isn't the factory we're used to. This is the fully automated, lights-out, dark factory of tomorrow. To give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, just look at that number, 41%. China now has 41% of the world's entire installed base of industrial robots. Let that sink in. This isn't just a big number. It represents a fundamental commitment to automation that is just on another planet. And this isn't all just homegrown tech. For many of us, this story hits very close to home. You'll remember back in 2016 when the German robotics champion KUKA was acquired by Medea. That single move acted like a massive accelerant, injecting world-class technology and expertise directly into their ecosystem and supercharging this entire transformation. Okay, so for a CIO, this is where it gets really interesting, right? A dark factory isn't just an engineering marvel, it's an IT monster. We're talking about a tsunami of real-time data pouring in every second. Mission-critical 5G connectivity is an absolute must, just to keep the lights, well, off. And low-latency edge computing is essential for making decisions in milliseconds. Here, predictive maintenance and fully integrated production systems aren't some cool pilot project you run in a corner. It's just the normal, everyday way of doing business. But believe it or not, automating the entire factory floor is just the start. Our next glimpse into the future shows us how that exact same logic is now being applied to the entire structure of the organization itself. And at the heart of this next leap is a really profound philosophical shift. It's moving away from seeing a company as a messy collection of separate silos, HR over here, finance over there, logistics somewhere else, and instead viewing the entire enterprise as one single, seamless, integrated system. And the tool that makes this possible is what's called the Enterprise Super App. And I want to be crystal clear. This is not a new and improved intranet. Not even close. Imagine one platform that acts as the company's central nervous system. A delay on the production line automatically updates the logistics schedule, which pings the sales team about a delivery change and instantly adjusts the quarterly financial forecast. All in real time, no humans required. That's the power we're talking about. Our third and final stop on this tour. Well, it might just reveal the biggest strategic blind spot for most of us in the West. It's not about digital currency itself. It's about what that digital currency really makes possible.
So in Europe, when we hear data privacy, our brains jump straight to GDPR. And it's absolutely essential, don't get me wrong. But for most companies, let's be honest, it's treated as a compliance burden, a defensive measure. In China, their framework also puts a huge emphasis on privacy, but there's a critical difference. It explicitly reclassifies certain types of data as a strategic asset, which completely flips the conversation from defense to offense.
And this slide says it all. You look at their definition of sensitive personal information, and you see the things you'd expect. Health data, biometrics, but then, right there at the end, financial accounts. Did you see that? That one little line item changes everything. It reframes financial data from being just a record of a transaction into a deeply valuable strategic asset that needs to be leveraged. And this is the strategic blind spot. So many of us are focused on the idea of instant payments, and we're missing the real story entirely. The revolutionary trend isn't the speed of the money. It's the speed and the richness of the data that now travels with the money. That data is what allows for real-time treasury management. It's what unlocks automated smart contracts. It transforms your cash flow from a backward-looking report into a live, predictive, strategic data stream. So we've seen these three glimpses of a possible future: the hyper-automated factory, the truly integrated organization, and data-driven finance. So what now? Let's connect the dots and figure out what this means for all of us heading into 2026. This is where it all clicks together into this incredible flywheel. Step 1, the automated factory generates a constant stream of massive real-time data. Step 2, a data-driven treasury uses that data for smart programmable finance. And step 3, the enterprise super app weaves it all together into one hyper-efficient system. See, it's not a choice between innovation and efficiency. This is a model for getting both at the exact same time. And just when you think you've got your head around it, here's the kicker. Everything we've just talked about, all the progress from the last 10 years, that's just the foundation. That was just the warm-up act. The pace of change is actually about to get a whole lot faster. Looking out on the horizon, we can already see the next wave of foundational technologies coming. Things like near-quantum photonic fusion, which promises breakthroughs in both energy and processing power, and AI+, which isn't just about using AI as a tool, but about deeply integrating it into the very fabric of industry. These aren't just buzzwords. These are tectonic shifts that will completely redefine global competition, and they're going to reward the companies that have already mastered the art of scaling. Which brings us right to the core mandate for 2026. This is the big takeaway. The era of playing around with small, meaningless pilot projects is officially over. The challenge and the huge opportunity for all of us is to finally move from pilots to platforms, from testing to true company-wide scaling. Digital transformation is about to get very real and very, very fast. And so, to really prepare for this future, to truly understand what innovation at scale looks like, our strategic gaze has to broaden. The insights we can get from looking east are no longer just interesting or nice to have. They are rapidly becoming essential for survival. So as you head into your planning for next year, I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. In 2026, your competitors will almost certainly still be looking to Silicon Valley for all the answers. The real question is, where will you be looking?